I have had pizza. The cat has been fed tranquilizers to keep it a shut up. Let's do it. I really need to clean this thing. It's fucking terrible. Where my filters go? I don't know. I will make more. Make more? Gee, I don't make filters, Jesus. So, the one thing we found out yesterday is that Soren was there, at the crime scene. Well, I only hope I can get some testimony from him that will get to the heart of the matter. Hey Ellen, what's up? You're great. Mr. Wright. Good morning, Ellen. Look, I'm afraid you might not like the result of today's trial. Nevertheless... Don't tell me you're still thinking of going that route! Soren is innocent, he can't be found guilty, take me instead! Ellen, please, try and get a hold of yourself! I believe in Soren with all my heart, so how dare you doubt him? You do tend to try and trust the people that you're defending, so, you know. Just saying. Regardless of which one of them is found guilty today, it's gonna be devastating for Ellen, isn't it? We'll just have to do everything we can. That's the best we can do, you know? Or maybe neither of them did it, and it was yes. The trial is about to begin, Mr. Wright. Alright, let's go, Maya. Yeah. God, buck up, you fucking prick. Jesus. September, some shit. 9 in the morning, Jesus Christ. Boom. Court is back in session for the trial of Ellen Wyatt. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Let's see now. Where were we? Fucking hell, man. In yesterday's session, we found out about the Sprocket family's conspiracy to cover up the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury with a second reception. Taking advantage of our collective shock, the defense, as usual, made a nonsensical claim. Namely, that there was a third person present who struck the victim. Come on, Edgy, you should have been fucking on that shit. Where have you been?
Objection!
Hey! Don't try to make it sound like I made it all up. The defendant herself made a statement about the existence of a third person, and further investigation has only proven her statement to be true. Did I presume the defense intends to focus on proving the identity of this third person? Is that alright with you, Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed, Your Honor. In fact, I predict that the defense will, most likely, attempt to name Mr. Soren Sprocket as the true culprit. How did you? The driver during the accident that killed Mr. Sprocket's sister was the victim. Therefore, Mr. Sprocket had a motive to murder Mr. Gloomsbury. That's what you plan to assert, is it not, Mr. Wright? Am I that transparent? Yes. Come now, Mr. Wright. Did you really think that the police wouldn't uncover this information? Well, they didn't fucking spot the candelabra, fucking did they? Or the lift, or anything of note, really. Congrats on getting it in one, Mr. Edgeworth. But... You're wrong! Soren didn't do it! He's innocent! Miss Wyatt, please! Please! He's innocent, I tell you! What is this, Mr. Wright? I thought your claim about the existence of a third person came from the defendant. It did. This is just a minor hiccup. Did you not discuss your strategy for today with the defendant, Mr. Wright? Starting off on the wrong foot again, as is seriously cutting into my lifespan. It would appear that the defence is in disarray. Therefore, the best way to clear things up is to ask Mr. Sprocket himself what happened. Your Honour, the prosecution would like to call Soren Sprocket to the stand. What? Very well. Bailiff, please bring Mr. Sprocket to the witness stand. Oh, we're gonna have you snivelling like a bitch by the end of this, boy! Witness, please state your name and occupation. No. Ow! There's something written on this paper airplane. Let's see. Soren Sprocket, Managing Director of Sprocket Aviation. Mr. Sprocket, please give your answers in words, not paper airplanes. Yeah, you've just been rebuked, my son. Now then, Mr. Sprocket. Please tell that doubting lawyer there what really happened at the time of the crime. Well, Mr. Sprocket! Oh, shit. Mr. Sprocket! Alright. Oh, Wedgie. We love you, my boy. Even if you've been neutered and we got the same fucking objection, but whatever, it's cool. You're still a G. We all love you. Grr. You want me to talk about what happened when the crime occurred? In other words, after the first wedding reception. When Ellen and I were in the reception hall, right? Not even the power of the court could stop him from marching to the beat of his own drum. Fuck's sake, stay lit for fucking prick. Follow the laws of some kind of thermodynamics. What Soren remembers? I was stabbed by dumbass in the reception hall and I collapsed to the floor. The next thing I saw was Ellen and dumbass on the Vista deck. I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck. But when I got there, dumbass was already... I don't want to believe it, but it must have been Ellen. Nothing else makes sense. Wow, you're a fucking dick! Wait just a minute here. You actually think Miss Wyatt killed the victim? That's right. Dumbass was killed. By Ellen. Yeah, alright. This is unbelievable! How can you suspect your bride, the woman you love? Oh, yeah, no, he's super on board with that.
Objection!
Hey, shut up, you! Take your smug face and shove it up your ass. The truth could be cruel. Miss Wyatt, you must be very upset. Is there anything you wish to say? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's terrible! Oh, that's really sad! Look at her face! No! I can't believe this, Soren! I thought that at least you would believe in me. Oh no! Go back to crying, it was more fun! Oh, this is horrible. The best way now to show your love for your groom is to admit your guilt and try to atone. Soren.
Hold it!
Come on, Pheonix, pull something out your bum. Mr. Edgeworth, I haven't even cross-examined the witness yet. And quit picking on the clearly distraught. Yeah, that's so not cool, Mr. Edgeworth. A court is where we seek the truth. And the truth is unyielding, even to the truly pitiful. Mr. Edgeworth. I find it distasteful to make a lady. Oh, yeah, Judgy, you're a beast! Ngurk. Et tu, Your Honor. So what are you gonna do, Nick? Anything, really. If the third person Ellen saw on the Vista deck was Soren, then we have to prove Soren was there at the time of the murder. I don't see any obvious inconsistencies in his testimony, but we have to push forward. You don't see anything obvious. Well, you know what that fucking means, kids. It's time to fucking press this bitch. You were stabbed by a dumbass. Press. Please tell me everything you can about when you got stabbed. After the reception, Ellen and I were enjoying a moment alone in the reception hall. Then dumbass appeared and stabbed me. He grabbed Ellen and the timekeeper and left the reception hall. That seems pretty fishy. Did Mr. Gloomsbury say anything at that time? I don't remember. After I was stabbed, I was immobilized by the pain. I see.
Hold it!
The next thing I saw was Ellen and dumbass on the deck. The Vista deck, huh? But it was nighttime then. Could you really see them in the darkness? The moon was out, so I could see them clearly. From the looks of it, dumbass was trying to push Ellen and the timekeeper off the side. So you saw the defendant about to be thrown off the airship, you say? That's right. In such a desperate situation, it would only be natural for her to fight for her life. And the murder weapon was right there within her grasp. Wasn't it really fucking heavy? Ugh, this isn't going well at all. I've got to do something fast! You knew Ellen was in danger. I understand that your bride was in danger, but were you really able to move with a stab wound to the gut? I was desperately trying to push the pain out of my mind. I see. So adrenaline kicked in and gave you strength. Is that right? I don't see much of anything in this statement I can refute. That's right. I almost passed out several times as I made my way to the Vista deck. So how was he trucking what? When I got there, dumbass was already... Are you absolutely sure, Mr. Sprocket, that by the time you got to the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed? Yes. But the Vista deck is just on the other side of the glass windows in the reception hall. Shouldn't you have been able to get there right away?
Objection!
Mr. Wright, have you investigated nothing? The only way to the Vista deck is to go to the hold and to... What? That creates like a half-hour window. The only way to get to the Vista deck is to go to the hold and take the lift. And no maids or anything saw you. No matter how much one hurries, it would take at least 10 minutes. Don't you argue me, that's fucking easy bait shit. Well, that's unhelpful. But Soren had to have gotten there before the murder, or my claim won't stand. Do you have any ideas for me, Maya? It's definitely easier to prove that someone did go to the hold than not. I mean, you can't leave anything if you don't go someplace, right? Can't leave anything. Wait a minute, I think Maya is onto something here. The lack of a certain something actually proves that Soren didn't go to the hold. What's the matter? Are you stumped already? No, I'm far from stumped, Mr. Edgeworth. I know for a fact that Mr. Sprocket didn't go to the hold. You and your paper-thin bluffs. Mr. Sprocket's bloodstain on the lift proves he went through the hold. So what possible proof could you have that he did not, in fact, go through there? Yeah, you want proof? You got it. Really? There's got to be proof that Soren didn't go through the hold. Well, Mr. Wright... oh, fuck. I don't fucking know. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit! Yeah, easy, mate. Yeah, easy days, man. Alright, we're cool. We're cool. We're alright. We're alright! As anyone can see, the hold entry record, there's absolutely no mention of Soren Sprocket entering the hold. Oh, yeah. The defense asserts that Mr. Sprocket used a different route to get to the Vista deck. You can assert what you want, Mr. Wright, but can you actually prove another route exists? Oh, fucking God, give me a break, man. Can I prove the existence of another route to the Vista deck? Not yet. Well, now that I really think about it, I guess it's going to be hard to prove. But I can't back down now, or the trial will be over if I do. There's only one thing I can do at a time like this. I can prove it! Oh, alright, fuck me then. Really? Are you fucking joking? I know Larry's picture exists, and it points to a lot of things, but... no, in a word. Even if it's just a bluff, I have to present something. Anything that can prove the existence of a faster route to the Vista deck. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Show us how Mr. Sprocket... oh, okay. Ba-dum-bum-bee. Ta-dum-boo. Oh, come on, you...
Take that!
Yeah, I know things. To save his bride from danger, Mr. Sprocket opened the escape hatch and made his way alongside the outside wall to the Vista deck. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket? Yeah, what you got now, you punk? That would certainly be a much faster route to the Vista deck. Oh, what you got, Edgy? What you got, boy? Sigh. I'm disappointed, Mr. Wright. Is that really the best you can muster? That escape hatch is not meant to be used to get from the reception hall to the Vista deck. One slip, and that's all it would take for Mr. Sprocket to plunge to his death. I have to agree, the defense's claim is really stretching it. I understand how it sounds, Your Honor. But at this point, it's too early to definitively say that he didn't go that way. So that's what you're going with then, I take it? Of course, Your Honor. This is real life, Mr. Wright, not some cinematic drivel or comic book. Fuck off, man. Do you have some sort of logical explanation to share that would convince us of your claim? I do. Are you sure, Nick? No. Kind of? Actually, I have nothing. So I just have to wing it somehow. Yeah. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. On what do you base your theory that Mr. Sprocket made his way along the outside? My theory that he was able to go along the outside wall despite the danger is based on... oh, fucking hell, man. The power of authority, the power of love, or the power of money. I'm gonna wing it on love. To save the bride he loves, the groom risked his life and rushed to her side. Mrs. Sprocket was able to make it to the Vista deck despite the danger. Because of the power of... Go on. The power of love? What is this? Some kind of weird fucking X-Men bullshit? That love is a source of strength that can help one overcome any obstacle. I think I can relate, thanks to my own long, happy marriage. Wow, he actually seems to be buying it.
Objection!
Oh, he's not. The power of love, you say? That kind of a logical argument is hardly viable in a court of law. When you agree, Your Honor. I'm afraid... Oh, yeah! Judgy's fucking wrecking shit, man! He's a G! I'm afraid not, Mr. Edgeworth. You should never underestimate the power of love. You'll understand one day when you get married. Oh, which I won't. Oh, okay. Why, exactly? There's no reason not to. Exactly what is so wrong with wishing to remain unwed? Yeah, I can't really argue with that. You know, just even have, you know, it's fine. Like, wedding seems to be illegal no matter what or who you associate yourself as, so yeah, fine. Way to set him off, Your Honor. Never mind all this unscientific nonsense. Are you aware, Mr. Wright, that at the time of the crime... Oh, balls. There was a huge propeller turning at full speed between the hatch and the Vista deck. Well, why would you have an escape hatch there, then? That makes that even dumber. Fuck this murder shit. Sue him for negligence at least. Christ. Well, that's terrible. Like, I know it's a good, like, aha moment, but really? Like, where exactly do people who are about to die jump out of? Like, anything would be better. In fact, just put a door. You can make doors out of glass, you know? It's a thought. Just saying. Whoa! They'd be blown away in an instant. Oh, cock! Yeah, that's about right. Where does your power of love get you now, Mr. Wright? A huge spinning propeller, you say? Not sure love can overcome that obstacle. In that case, I have to admit, it does seem impossible. Arrgh, I should have known. The power of love was never strong enough to do that. Nick, you can't make that kind of face in front of your client. The worst of times when, oh yeah, no, you fucking start wheeling that shit out when you're grimacing like fucking you've got a turtle poking through. Right. I feel like I just saw Mia looking out at me through Maya's eyes. Yeah, even though she's like super dead at this point, I think. Oh, maybe. What's wrong, Nick? Why are you gaping at me like a giant sunfish? Thank you, Maya. You just helped me remember something really important. There it is. There's that fearless smile I was looking for. Now give us a mind-blowing theory, just like you always do. I have to turn my thinking around. Instead of wondering how Soren could have moved past that huge propeller, I have to think about what would have made it possible for him to do so. Your Honor, Mr. Wright only makes that ridiculous face when his back is pressed against the wall. Therefore, please do hurry and give your ruling before... Ah, yeah, you shut your face. Mr. Edgeworth, it's still far too early to discount my theory. What are you talking about? The airship's large spinning propellers have already shredded it to pieces. But if we think a little more outside the box, I'm sure we could find a way it could have made it. Stop trying to stall, Mr. Wright, and show us how it could have been even remotely possible, if at all. I must agree with Mr. Edgeworth. Very well, Your Honor. There must have been a way. Some way that Soren could have moved along the wall in spite of the propeller. Now then, Mr. Wright, what specifically would have made it possible? Oh, this is how it would have been possible for Wanky. The airship wasn't flying? Right, so we've got, he got to the deck some other way, which we know isn't true because he didn't take the lift. The propellers were broken, which I know, and the airship wasn't flying. Let's give that one. Good. What allowed Mr. Sprocket to go along the outside wall in spite of the propellers? Is the location of the flying chapel at the time of the crime. The location of the flying chapel? But wasn't it flying high in the sky? No, Your Honor. I'm afraid it wasn't. What? Then where was it? In space! At the time of the murder, the airship wasn't flying through the sky, but more to the ground. What? And if the airship wasn't flying, then that means... Yes, thank you for the visual representation game. They could have been turning a little bit. Oh, there you go, there it is. In which case... Mr. Sprocket could have gotten to the Vista deck along the outside wall. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket? Oh, hello. That's a new face. The visual representation of characters in the Pheonix Wright series is spot on. And little details, but look at his thumb. Little details, like tiny little things. I don't remember. Ow. He stabbed himself with his pencil. That's gonna leave him up.
Objection!
Even if the propellers weren't turning, it would have been far too risky to go that way. Ah, but Mr. Edgeworth, you're forgetting about the power of love. Yes. The power of love overcomes any obstacle. The power of boners, more likely, really. Yes, the amazing power of love. Not this again! But very well, for the sake of argument, let's assume this so-called power made it possible for Mr. Sprocket to move along the outside wall of the airship. Can you prove that the airship was tied to the ground as you claim, Mr. Wright? Well, I don't have any evidence that proves where the airship was at the time. You can prove it, can't you? Maya, can you think of anything we can use to prove it? Can't say I can. Oh, wait! Didn't somebody see something outside a window at the time of the crime? I think I remember someone saying as much. Oh, fucking hell, man. Jesus, really? We're pulling it out now? Do I have a piece of evidence that shows what was outside the airship? Well, what are you waiting for? This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the crime. I'm going to look for anything else, just on the off chance this is wrong. So we got in. Where the fuck is it?
Take that!
This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the murder. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Where's this shit gonna go? What kind of lousy drawing is that? It's a drawing made by Larry Butts. And what can you prove with that poor attempt at artistry? Larry made this drawing before he switched the lanterns, so it must have been right around when the murder was being committed. Now, if I could direct the court's attention here. Is that a pterodactyl? Does that mean that the airship actually went back in time to the Cretaceous period?
Objection!
We've already proven that time travel is nothing more than a gimmick, did we not? We did, and I have no intention of bringing up that argument again. But this drawing shows us an important piece of information. It shows us that the airship was actually moored on the ground. And what makes you so sure? That's easy. All you have to do is consider who made this drawing. Larry. That's right, it was Mr. Butts, and we both know what he's like. He must have seen something else and mistaken it for a pterodactyl. I can't argue with you. That's fucking fantastic. Hey! Wait just one doggone second here. What kind of moron do you guys take me for? I saw it with my own eyes. A pterodactyl flew right by the window, I tell you. I have the sharp eyes of an artist. Don't you believe me? No. Nick? Nope. Some friends you guys are. What about the judge? You believe me, right, Your Honor? Just spat out my cigarette. I'm sorry, but you need to leave the courtroom. Bailiff, if you would. Come on, buddy, let's go! Why does anyone believe me? Don't take it personally, Larry. I know you're just being, well, you. Ahem! Now then, so you're saying that what Mr. Butts really saw bears some relation to what was outside the airship at the time of the murder? Yes, Your Honor. At least, I think it does. What this pterodactyl really is will prove the airship was anchored at the mooring dock. It had better anyway. If it doesn't, my whole argument is a bust. Give me a break. If you're that confident about it, then please go ahead and tell us what it really was. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, fucking hell, man. Oh, I see. Really? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm assuming it means the bench, but even that's pretty fucking absurd. Let me budge it over to the bench.
Take that!
Even I'm finding this hard to, like, handle. Please take a good look at this sign. At the sign? It appears to have broken and then repaired. But what does this sign have to do with the pterodactyl? Please focus on this part of the sign. Oh! The part that hi. Oh, hell. What? Okay, it had nothing to do with the bench at all. I didn't even spot that. Are you fucking joking? Seriously? The part that broke off and got reattached, what about it? How about if we turn it like this? Oh, that shape! It's the pterodactyl in the drawing! It's fucking... no. What Mr. Butts actually saw was this chunk as it was being blown through the air by wind. What?! Yeah, no, that's fucking stupid. You can't possibly prove that. Even in your insane world of Ani. On the day of the murder, there were some heavy winds in the area of the mooring dock, but it's hard to imagine that this sign would make it up as high as an airship could fly. I need more booze. That's what I need. Only more alcohol can help me comprehend this. That means the flying chapel must have been anchored at the... No, it really fucking doesn't! Are you joking? That's like the flimsiest fucking argument in the world! Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket?
Objection!
Away comes Edgy, with the voice of reason. That's more than enough of this power of love nonsense, you pulp culture junkie. I wish he'd said hippie, I would have quite liked that. Present all the proof you want, but your argument is based far too much in conjecture. Why don't we return to reality now? Well, what do you mean too much Fine. Even if the airship wasn't flying, that alone doesn't prove the witness went along the wall. True, even now it's no more than a possibility. Then how do you propose Mr. Sprocket got to the Vista deck, Mr. Edgeworth? I noticed something as I went over the evidence. Please take a look at this hold entry record. What about it? I don't see Mr. Sprocket listed on here anywhere. Don't you remember, in yesterday's session we had a very similar kind of argument? Did we? I don't know. It's like 3 months ago. I don't fucking remember any of it. Honestly, Mr. Wright, are you going senile already? We talked about Larry Butts using the defendant's keycard to enter the hold. Oh, we did talk about that, didn't we? In other words, even if a person's name isn't on the entry record, it's still possible for that person to have entered by using someone else's card. Mr. Sprocket, you entered the hold with Mr. Nickety, didn't you? Oh, come on, Soren, suck it up, you bitch. Oh, come on! I did. What? Why didn't you tell us that in the first place? But Pierce is indispensable. I didn't want to mention him unnecessarily and risk having him wrongly accused. I couldn't do without him. Mr. Sprocket, I ask that you testify in greater detail about your movements that night. Oh shit. Alright. Here we go, buddies. What we got? More booze. Help me, please. Oh, prepare my brain for whatever fucking shit I have to face in the next hour and a half, I'm presuming. The truth. The truth is, I went to the Vista deck with Pierce. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over. Well, hang on, that's 4 people. Well, this doesn't help me one bit. Mr. Sprocket, you've concealed information from us time and time again. Who do you think you are, treating this court of law with such irreverence? That being said, I do appreciate the testimony you gave just now. Thanks to you, we now know why your name doesn't appear on the entry record. Now there are no more inconsistencies in the witness's testimony. Arrgh. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. He never leaves a loose end dangling. He just let you rattle off for fucking like half an hour of shit. You okay, Nick? I wouldn't exactly call the situation okay. Somehow I'll have to coax the information we need for an opening out of him. If I even can, that is. Truth is, I went to the Vista deck with the woman. You mean? I'm very sorry. I have a fucking frog in my throat. You didn't mention this because you didn't want Mr. Nickety to fall under suspicion. Is that because he has something to hide? I just didn't want the police to take up his time with all their questions, that's all. Neither the company nor the household would function smoothly without him. I see. Wow, it sounds like Pierce is absolutely indispensable to the Sprockets. Anyway, getting back to your statement, when did you meet up with Mr. Nickety? We met up on my way to the Vista deck. I think Pierce and some of my relatives were on another floor, but Pierce heard the commotion, came running to my aid. He could hear the pandemonium all the way from another floor. Mr. Wright, would you like the current statement added to the witness's testimony? Yes. Yes, please, Your Honor. Very well. Pierce heard the commotion and he came running.
Hold it!
Did Miss Nickety come alone? I believe some of his subordinates were with him, but I don't remember exactly how many. You may say there were others, but seeing how they pulled that second reception off, I can't completely trust anything he has to say either. I see. So you, Mr. Nickety, and a few others headed to the Vista deck, is that right? That's right. I'll press for the rest of it, because, God, I'll get a hint. Your name doesn't appear on the hold entry record, because you entered with Mr. Nickety using his keycard? That's right. So I guess the hold entry record doesn't matter as much as we thought, but now that Soren's saying he was with Pierce and a few others, it's pretty tough to refute that statement. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Cat got your tongue? Did you finally realise there's no point in continuing this trial any longer? Of course not. Grr, I'll wipe that smug look off your face. Mr. Sprocket, please continue with your testimony. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic.
Hold it!
Speaking of your injury, how are you doing now? The knife wound is deep and continues to throb with pain. Fortunately, my internal organs were spared, but one wrong move would have spelled the end for me there. Even so, I've seen you up and about all over the place since the incident. I'm only following my doctor's orders to perform some daily light exercises. Mr. Wright, would you like... Oh, fuck yeah! But it's especially relevant to me. Yeah, fuck it, why not? May as well. Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to have added to his testimony. As long as it doesn't fucking get rid of the other bit. Knife wound is quite deep and continues to throb with pain.
Hold it!
Your injury was really that deep? Luckily, it missed my internal organs, otherwise I wouldn't be alive right now. According to his doctor, his injury will take about 3 weeks to heal. There's no way someone with that kind of injury could have gone along the outside wall. Narrr. But he might have been able to with a burst of adrenaline brought on by the pain. Adrenaline. Is that your answer for everything? In a court of law, the only thing that matters is evidence, not rampant speculation. At least admit it's scientific rampant speculation. May I continue? Yes, of course. I think we're going to the end of this shit. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over.
Hold it!
I think this is the last of it. So you still insist that you reached the Vista deck after the murder had occurred? Is that correct? Yes, that's right. Ellen must have killed him. There's no other explanation. I guess whether Pierce was with Soren or not doesn't change the outcome. I guess not. In fact, more witnesses actually makes it worse for us. So another cover-up, huh? That Soren has too many secrets. I bet he's still hiding other things too. That's definitely a possibility. Oh, there you go. But in a situation like this, all we have to do is go back to the basics. You mean go over the testimony and check for any lies or inconsistencies? You got it. Alright, Nick, let's go for it. Wow, that was fucking helpful, wasn't it? Went to the Vista deck with Pierce. Heard the commotion and came running. Well... I can't really see an awful lot wrong with that, to be honest with you. Like, not overly. No, it didn't actually say where Pierce was. Hang on a minute, let me go to the fucking dialogue. Oh wow, really? There's a cut-off point. Fuck's sake, man. Let me press it again, because I forgot what it fucking said. Nickety, come alone. See, so okay, so there's nothing really major on that one.
Hold it!
Wait a minute, sorry, I didn't even fucking mean to press that. Actually kind of... Oh, you shock and awe, I'm stumped by it. Clear on the whole entry record. There must be something in here that tells Piss to go fuck itself. Fucking hell, man, I can barely see this fucking shit. No clock on that one. You people asked for this, by the way. Don't fucking get arsey at me if you have a problem with it. It doesn't say where the fuck Pierce was.
Hold it!
Fine. When did you meet up with Mr. Nickety? We met on the way up to the Vista deck. I think Pierce and some of my relatives were on another floor. Pierce had the commotion and came right to my aid. All the way from another floor. Well, all I can really offer is the fucking Flying Chapel pamphlet. Where it's like, what, he was in the hall. And then you've got the elevator and lift. And then the cabin and the hold.
Objection!
No, I didn't fucking think so. Why would that make sense? Ha! this game. It pisses me off sometimes. Oh. Like, that seems like a legitimate fucking criticism. I bet I have to present it to an aardvark on the other side of fucking Jupiter. Seems like a radical fucking idea. I mean, fine, I could accept the fact that you met him on the way there, but if Pierce heard the commotion and came running, well, that's fucking bollocks. It pisses me off. It's like, I'm sorry, yeah, no, that's a legitimate argument, but no, it doesn't fit into the realm of whatever wanky story writer did this. Heard the commotion and came running. Right, I think the knife wound is obviously a bit of a false lead. Why my name doesn't appear on the old ancient record? I don't understand. You know what? I'm gonna fucking cheat, because I want this fucking shit done. I'm not gonna sit here for 10 minutes trying to figure out the answer while I fuck it up. I'm gonna go fucking find the answer, because I don't care enough. And it's 50 minutes, so it's fine enough to take a break. And I can get pissed off when I come back. In a bit.